subnetting of subnetting an IPv4 network. So basically, what do you mean by subnetting? So an idea is split network into two or more smaller parts is called subnetting. So recently we just taken an example where one network we have seen that 254 IP addresses are available, okay, for class C. But these 254 IP addresses, if you assign just in between two nodes actually, then you cannot assign these network to somewhere else in your network. So the idea is actually how we can split down these network into the two parts. So for example, if you look at this network only has 400 users. And the subnet mask IP address of the range we have assigned 172.16.0.0/16. How many IP addresses, by the way, we have here?
1,000.
No, it's more than that. Around 65,000. 2 raised to power 16. Look, this this is 8 plus 8. How many bits we have? It's a /16. /16 means 255.255.0.0. So basically, it's a class B network. In the class B network, default is 16. Okay. Basically, we have a class B network where we have 2 raised to power 16. So how we can calculate the total number of hosts? 2 raised to power. Okay, 1 minute. I think if you say 2 raised to power 16 in this subnet mask, where basically actually there are only 400 users available, live devices, live PC, live telephone. But basically, how many IP addresses we are using? So basically, 2 raised to power 16 give you 65,000, around 65,000 IP addresses. So minus 400, effectively you are wasting these IP, because the reason is these IP addresses cannot be assigned to any other machine in your network. So effectively that range almost gone. So what we can do, we can shape our network in this way: 172.16.0.0/24 for 200 users, because maximum we have 254 in this /24, right? 2 raised to power 8 will give you 256, but 256 means the network portion, network and the broadcast we cannot use. Okay, so basically 200 plus 200 if you're a user. In this case, we are almost wasting around 54 IP. As compared to 65,000 IP, now we are wasting maybe 54 IP, maybe more user added in the future. So this means our network can easily expand. So basically, whenever you are designing a network, whenever you are trying to design a network and somebody asking you, I need, give me an IP address allocation, give me this, give me class B, class C, or something like that. So if you are working in the live environment, many times it happens that maybe you are actually managing the IP addresses as well. So somebody asking you, give me a one network, for example. So you need to ask him how many hosts he has. Maybe only he has 4 hosts. He has 1 host, he has 2 hosts, he has 10 hosts, he has 20 hosts. So as a network engineer, it will be your job to assign him the particular IP address which is fulfill his requirement. So maybe you can ask some question, okay, how many users you have, how many you are expecting in 2 months, 6 months, 1 year time. So you can assign the appropriate network to him. Because once you assign the IP addresses, it is not easy to change for the user later on. Another example we have given here on the day-to-day, for example, cafe, conference, guest, and work in a single room. If all they are in the single room, what could happen? Now, what we done is, so now cafe, guest room are in a separate room. You see? So this example, all in one room. And this example, all in separate. So basically, effectively, you are using the space. The building we are here now, if just we have one big hall, so it means the landlord can only give it to one company. Yeah. So it is a very usual example in UK, especially in London. If you have a 3-bedroom, you can charge maximum 1,500, 1,600, right? Depending on the area. Let's say 1,600. But if you divide them into 3 bedroom, 3 bedroom small, one room two rooms. One bedroom is around, let's say, 900, for example. Another is maybe, so two bedroom, 1200.
More cost effective.
So this way you can earn more profit. So basically you can manage your space and not wasting the space actually. An IP address, keep in mind, the IP addresses are expensive. The public IP addresses you need to buy. Private IP addresses you can use, no problem. Okay, but public, whenever you're using public IP addresses, then you need to take care of that information, that okay, how many you need that. Do not just assign to someone just /24 and maybe they are only using 4 or 5 IP. So it's a very critical decision at that time. Okay, another thing is broadcast domain. We know the broadcast domain is 400 user. Each router interface connected to the broadcast domain. So router breaks the broadcast domain. Broadcasts are only propagated within the specific domain network. So if there is a broadcast message comes in at the layer 3, it will be distributed to all the 400 user. Am I right? Yeah. So then what happened? This is a problem in the large network. It means 400 machine need to process that request, which may be only for one user. So 399 user will be processing without any requirement. So it means we are wasting the bandwidth. So first problem is we are wasting our IP addresses. Those are critical. Those are, you need to buy them from somewhere. Second thing is, if the network is big enough and requirement is only 400 user, and if the broadcast request need to be done, it will go to all the machine. In order to, that's how you see this, it slows the network operation due to significant amount of broadcast traffic. Slow down devices operation because devices must accept and process each broadcast. Devices, they are not inherently designed, they can deny, they said, oh, it's a broadcast, we don't want to hear you. They have to process. Solution, of course, reduce the size of the network, split the smaller broadcast domain, right? Split into the smaller broadcast domain so you can easily manage them. And if there are 200 users, rather than 400 users process them, now 200 users can process them. This is called subnetting. Each smaller network is called subnet. Subnet network is the same thing. Subnet ID is the same thing. Or network ID, subnet ID, both are the same thing. Okay. Reason for subnetting, another like location point of view. Look at this. If you, this is a very good, look at this. What we done is location point of view. So let's say when you design your network, okay, so you can say the floor 1 will be having this network, floor 2, floor 3, floor 4, floor 5. Okay. According to their requirement, okay, you can assign them to each range 10.0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reason for subnetting. Subnetting determined by organization unit. Administration, human resources, account, students. So you can easily recognize that this IP address range to this network. Oh, sorry, this department, for example. Devices type. Host, server, printers as well. Now the question is how we do it. Subnetting on the octet boundary. So basically these are the default subnet masks as we already know. This is already know that for /8 or 2550.0, how many host we have. Yeah, that's all we clear. How we calculated this? 2 raised to power 24, 2 raised to power 16, 2 raised to power 24. Okay, so this is original octet boundary. So you can see this is the network, or borrow 1 bit from those. Now the question is how we can do the subnetting. How we can do the subnetting. So how we can, now the question is how we can do the subnetting. So basically when we have a big room, when we have a big house actually, and if you want to divide them into 3 rooms, or look at this building, we have, let's say, 20 offices, and in the 20 offices, initially it was just like a big building, okay, but they segregated them. The original building will always stay as it is. You only divide the small portion. Okay, so we know you cannot touch the original portion. Original portion is the network portion on the left side. If it's a class C network, the first 3 octets are fixed. We cannot touch them. Like I said, London Road, right? If it's a London Road and you have 200 houses today, okay, the London Road cannot be, further go, because maybe there are other roads comes in after that. But within one house, you can divide one house, 3-bedroom flat, into 3-bedroom house into 5-bedroom, or maybe 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom and 2-bedroom, depending upon how you do it. So basically, the original structure, you never touch it. So original structure means the network portion we do not touch. Where we have a space, we have the space in the host portion. Clear? So host portion means, think about, if you have a 2 rooms, you can divide it into 3 rooms, 4 room, 5 room. So where we have a space, the network portion is 0. How we can divide the network? Sorry? We do not touch. Network portion we do not touch. As I said, London Road, originally London Road has 200 houses. You cannot divide London House because London Road is already built-in road. Maybe some other Keswick Road or other roads are already connected to that. So London Road will stay at 200 houses. But one, let's say the 39, 35 number, 38 number, they are big houses. You can divide the big 35 number into 35A, B, C, D. But original 35 will stay as it is, because of course it's connected to the other neighbor. Inside there, you can build more walls. Okay. So similarly, where we have a space on the network side, network will never change. Network always remain the same, because network portion, the original identity of the network will always same. So where the formula is, because we have 8 bits on the host portion, so we can borrow 1 bit from the network portion, host portion. So now this bit become the part of the network portion. This bit become the part of the network portion. I just borrow 1 bit from the host portion. Now how many bits are now left for the host? 7. So 2 raised to power 7, 128. Am I right? Yeah, 2 raised to power 7. So it's mean when we borrow, I will be creating 2 network. Previously I have 254, I have 256 total IP. 2 IP we cannot use, but now we have 128 on one side and 128 on one side. Okay, then basically we have now, how many bits we have borrowed? 1 bit we borrowed. Okay, so when we borrow 1 bit, actually 2 raised to power 1, 2, it means we get 2 network. Is that clear? So 2 raised to power 1 will be 2 network. So previously it was 256. Now with each of them, okay, each of them will be having 7 bits. Okay, 7 bit for the host portion. 2 raised to power 7, 2 raised to power 7, both will be having equal number of hosts, 128, 128. Whenever you borrow 1 bit, now how many bits you have borrowed? 1. So how many network you will be creating? 2 raised to power 1. And how many bits are left for the host portion? 7. 2 raised to power 7, 128. Each network, now think about it, 1 big building has been chopped down into the 2 rooms, equal size. If it's a 400 square meter, equal size 200 square meter from length and weight wise. Equal. But the main structure is the same, no problem at all. Now, the problem is subnet mask. How we define the subnet mask? The definition of subnet mask is, in the network portion, all the bits are 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 on. Remember? That is why 255, 255, 255. That is the definition of subnet. And the host portion must be 0. So now we borrow 1 bit, and that will be become of the network portion. So the subnet mask will be 255, 255, 255.128. Is that? So with the just borrowing of 1 bit, we created 2 network. Each network will be having and the first one will be 0, the second one will be 1, and each one will be having 128 host. Is that clear? And then the subnet mask. So whenever you do this division, you need to recalculate the subnet mask as well, because now you borrow one bit which has been borrowed by the host portion. It is part of the network portion now. Okay, it's part of the network portion. So basically the subnet mask will change. This is called custom subnet mask. So previously, if this was 24, which was class C default subnet mask, now it will be /25. 1225 means we just borrowed one bit from the host portion. We borrowed 0. This is the bit, second, and that's all. Now both the network will be having subnet mask, same subnet mask. Subnet mask will be no difference. Okay. Here you can see 192.168.1.0/25. You can see this. Interestingly, network address 192.168.1.0. You see this? That's the network address. Now it's become the network address now, because we have 8-bit. Previously we have 8-bit, 1 bit is there. These are the two networks we have. Each of the network now, what is this broadcast address? How we calculate the broadcast? The definition of broadcast, guys. The network portion, host portion must be 111. So this will be 127. This will be 255. So keep in mind, in the exam or in the interview question, somebody examiner just give you the one network, one IP address, and he say calculate the this is the subnet mask, this is the IP address. Tell me the IP address, first IP, last IP, broadcast network address for each network, broadcast IP, first usable IP, last usable IP. Now the question is, the first host will be 192.168.1.1. On the other side will be 192.168.1.129, because 128 is part of this network, and 126 and 254. So that is the things you need to calculate. Okay, little bit confusing. Don't worry, I will come back. But so far so good. When we borrow one bit, 2 raised to power 1 will be 2 network. Each network will be like 192.168.1.0 and 192.168.1.1. Clear? These will be 2 networks. Then the subnet mask will be, everyone will be having this subnet mask. The topology point of view, the previous things which we have discussed, okay, we can assign this to this network, and I can show you here as well. Okay, concept of subnetting here more, and you will see how we can assign the IP address. So here, let's say I get the the crossover cable between router to router. Good. Show IP interface brief will show me how many interfaces I have on this router. Gig 00, gig 01 on this interface. So which interface is connected? Right now we don't know. How we can know that which interface is connected to this router? Router 0.
So CDP enabled?
Nothing. How can I know? CDP will not work until the interfaces are up. Please keep in mind, because CDP need to be exchanged between the two Cisco devices. So in order to do that, interface gig 0/0, no shut on one side, and also here IP. So basically I have the other router, okay, and no shut. Now you see both of interfaces are up now. Now you will discover the topology through CDP. Clear? If you do show CDP neighbor, now you see This is switch and this is a New York router, for example. So fast 00 is connecting to the other side gig 00. Okay. Now let's say I just go here, right? So let's say I have two interfaces. Interface gig fast 0/0. IP address 192.168.10.1 255. Okay. If I assign this IP address right now, and let's say I go into the another interface and assign this different IP address from the same range. Let's say the next IP 192.168.10.1.2. Sorry, 2. Now, what is the question? What is the problem I'm facing? So there are two interfaces, one IP address, one network address. I am assigning there are two IP addresses from the same IP range to two different interfaces. What is the problem I'm facing? The problem is that router says that, look, this is the overlap IP. I have two doors, right? My right and left. You cannot have the same network. Like I am opening in one street, another one is a different street. You will be entering into one street and leaving the other street actually. So basically both streets cannot be the same. Both must be in a different network. Both must be in a different subnet. Both must be open in a different street. Both must have a different broadcast domain. That is a different broadcast domain, definitely different one. So you cannot assign the same IP address, same network address as IP address. IP address is different, but from the same range, right? It is not possible on the router. Router will not allow you to assign the IP address from the same range. Let's say I said 192 rather than saying 0. I said my IP address is, let's say, 172. That's fine. So do show IP interface brief. See, that is fine. If you are a 192 on one side and 172 on a different side, I'm happy. But anytime you want to go to this, I cannot do this. So basically, if I have an assign an IP address on this side, 192.168, on this side of the this interface actually, so I cannot assign the same interface look, both are same. This is not possible. This is not possible. However, what is the possibility that yes, I can assign fine. That is fine. So router will never allow you to assign the same IP address range, network address range from the same IP range, network range from the two different interfaces. You have to have the unique IP address in the router, because router does not care the host actually is care about the network. You say, I want two different networks connected. Now, we divided these two networks, right? So in our topology, what we have done now, 192.168.1.0/25, 192.168.1.128. Now, if you want to do this, now how can we do this? Interface F00. Sorry, let's say I'm saying no IP address. I'm removing the IP. And on 1, I'm also saying no IP. Now let's say I'm going into 1.0 and I'm typing the IP address of 192.168, let's say 10.1, 192.168, 10.1. Okay, subnet mask. Look at that, my subnet mask is now changed. Okay, because we borrow one bit. Okay, that is was part of the host, but now part of the network. Is it clear? Now the second IP. Now when you do, look at this. Effectively, when you see the IP, the first three bits actually, so first three octet, they look the same. How this is possible right now? Because we subnetted it. The previously 254 hosts now divided into two different, and now router allowed you. Even the major boundary is the same. The major 192.168, but because now we subnetted, we use a different subnet mask 128. It allowed me to use one IP from one range and one IP for another subnet. Is that clear? Okay, and I'm telling you, nobody will ever teach you or give you this concept of subnetting. They tell you this and that, but this is very unique. Now you will not be able to forget this. Okay, subnet mask doing with the practical. Do the same practical at home as well. Okay, assign the same IP, then do the subnetting, then see. Clear? Now effectively they look same. However, when you do show running, we see the subnet mask is different. See? Because this will be giving you 192.168, 126 will be the last IP, and 192.168, the first IP will be 129, because from this subnet mask. Here, when you do show IP route, actually, you see what? 192.168.10.0 and 192.168.10.128, two different subnet. And you see these 225 has been subnetted. Is that clear? So this is how you do the subnetting. Now this is exactly what we have done. So 126 IP address is here, 126 IP address is here. Total will be 254. Sorry, less than that. Okay. Two different interfaces, now they have the same IP. You see, R1. So previously, we cannot assign this from /24. You cannot assign the same IP range, subnet network from the same IP, but now you can see. Also, you can see on the machine length PC. Now what you're doing is the difference is subnet mask is different.
Subnet mask is the same, but
oh yeah, but subnet mask, like basically, I mean, because it shows you this is the custom subnet mask. Custom subnet mask when you borrow the bits from the host portion. Default is what? For class A /8, for class B /16, 255.255.0.0, for class C 255.255.255.0 or /24. Okay. Subnet mask will be taken. Whenever you do the subnetting, the subnet mask will be the same. No difference at all. Now, how we can calculate the subnet?